Hello, today we are going to start another lecture series, which is SPSS. So, in this lecture series, we will learn SPSS from basic to advanced level. So, move on. First of all, what is SPSS? So, SPSS is a statistical program. It stands Statistical Package for Social Science. Right now, the SPSS officially called IBM SPSS Statistics because it's developed by IBM. It's a very powerful tool for statistical analysis, data management, and predictive modeling. Basically, it was introduced for social science, but right now, we also can use the SPSS package for market research and healthcare and many more. So, SPSS is commonly used for analyzing the data, testing the hypothesis, in some cases predictive modeling, and we generate the report. So, it's all about SPSS. So, there are some basic applications or example of applications why and where we can use SPSS software. So in general, we can use it in academic study or research, healthcare or psychology, education research, and social science. On the other hand, in business, we can use it in market research, customer analytics, sales performance, and operational efficiency, and in many domains. So more specifically, in academic studies, you can analyze the survey response, experimental result, and observational data. In healthcare, you can measure the treatment effect, or you can test the hypothesis. In education research, probably you can evaluate the teaching method, students' performance, or the institutional data. At the same time, in social science, you can conduct the multivariate analysis, cross-tabulation, and factor analysis, and many more. So in business, you can investigate the consumer behavior, segment market, and evaluate branding strategies. On the other hand, for customer analytics, say for example, track satisfaction, investigate the loyalty, right? On sales performance, I mean the time series forecasting, and many more domain, you can use SPSS software. These are some basic examples. So, overview of SPSS. What SPSS can do, we have already said in the previous slide. But more specifically, say for example, we can calculate descriptive statistics, say for example, mean, median, mode, or dispersion, say for example, variance, standard error, standard deviation. On the other hand, it's skewness, kurtosis, correlation, regression, right, etc. On the other hand, in inferential statistics, we can do t-test, ANOVA, I mean analysis of variance test, regression analysis, MANOVA, right, F-test, and so more. You also can use the SPSS as a data manipulation tools or data management tools. Say for example, recoding, merging data. On the other hand, compute new variables, right? The data visualization is also a powerful tools of SPSS. You can create histogram, bar chart, scatter plot, column chart, etc., right? Line chart. Okay, so why we will use the SPSS is because of its user friendly. There are two options actually. you can use the graphical user interface based analysis, and you can use syntax based analysis, right? Extensive data analysis feature. There are lots of features actually you will find in the SPSS, data management and transformation tools. And for sure, SPSS can handle quite a very large data set. That is why we will use the SPSS. So there are some key features already I have told, or I have mentioned in the previous slide. So data management. So in the data management, you can import data, clean data, organize the data, right? So you can import the data from various sources. Say, for example, Excel, CSV, SQL data. I mean, on the other hand, you can import some data from other software like Stata, right? Statistical tools like we can use t-test, ANOVA test, regression clustering. In some cases, the predictive analytics. There are some options of machine learning or like decision tree, right? So you also can use SPSS for predictive analytics and for sure the data visualization. So we will conduct, if I'm not wrong, maybe it's a 10 to 15 weeks course. So in the first week, actually we will learn or try to understand the basic of SPSS. Say, for example, its interface and the basic data entry technique, like this. So in the first week, I will cover overview of the software and interface. Already said something or many things about the SPSS software. So we will talk about the interface, or we will see practically. So next, the basic concepts. Say, for example, variable, data view, and variable view. How to import data, how we can entry data and variables, and how we can save or open the file, right? So there are some hands-on practice, entering data, deleting variable, defining variable, and saving data set. So next, we have some interface. So in SPSS, commonly you will find 5 types of interface. Say, for example, data editor. So in the data editor, you will find 2 options, variable view and data view. On the other hand, we will have the output view. So actually in output view, we will get the result or table. I mean tabulated result or graphical result. Syntax editor is for advanced automation, right? We can write the program and save it for future analysis. And definitely the chart editor. You will produce some charts, and if you wish, you can customize the chart as per your own style. So there are 5 types of interface. Once again, data editor, output viewer, syntax editor, and chart editor. So in the data view in SPSS, each row represents a case or observation. Each column represents the variable, I mean the variable name. Data entry is done directly here, or you can import data from other sources like Excel, CSV, Stata, SQL, like this. User can edit and input values into cell. So if you import the data and you would like to edit the data in the interface or in the cell, you can do it. Finally, in the variable view, you will have several options. Say, for example, variable name, variable type, variable weight. So decimal, how many decimal you would like to see, the variable values. If there is any missing value, so you can define the missing value, and the measurement, define the scale actually. So measurement, there are 3 types of measurement: nominal, ordinal, and scale. So what is nominal? It's all about the categorical data, categories without order. Say, for example, gender, country. So it's a category, but it's not order. So ordinal, it's a categorical data, but it will arranged in orderly. Say, for example, ranking, first, second, third, like this. Scale could be divided or categorized into two ways. One is interval and ratio. So it's all about the numeric data. Say, for example, age, income, temperature, and so on, right? So it's all about today's lecture's theory. So we can do some practice. Okay, when we open the SPSS, so we have these types of interface. So in this interface, like the other software, say for example, Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint, or any other software, you will find here a bar. It's called the menu bar, right? On the other hand, you can see there are some ribbons are in here. Here you will get two options. One is data view and another is variable view. This part is actually for data view, these options, right? You can see each and every data is in here. On the other hand, if you go to the variable view, you will have lots of options. So you need to define the variables properties. Okay. So here, if you click in the file, you will have options like new, open database, export all data, export the file, right? Renaming database, and blah, blah, blah. So it's same actually the other software like MS Word, Excel. So if you would like to open a new data or create a new data, here just click here data, open a new syntax file, you can click here. Or if you'd like to open a new output, create a new output, so you can click here. On the other hand, if you have any saved data, saved syntax, saved output, you can open from here, right? From edit, undo, redo, insert variable, insert case, and here you will find the options. There are lots of options, right? If you go to the view, there are some other options. Status bar, the status bar is not in here. So once again, view, status bar, see here the status bar is in here, right? So view, and the grid lines, you will not find any grid lines. So click here, grid line. So you will find like Excel. So in the data, there are lots of options. So for data and transform, these two menu usually are typically used for data management, data menu and transfer menu. The analyzing menu typically used for data analysis. Graph typically used to create the graph or build the graph, right? Say for example, I am entering some data, serial number. Okay, serial number is type actually numerical type. So how many decimal you would like to see? I don't need any decimal, so I make it a 0. Wide, say for example 4, right? Okay, 4 wide, decimal 0, level, I can write serial number. Okay, so value, there is no value, there is no missing value maybe. And alignment, you can fix it, right? So measure, we don't know what types of measure, we don't need actually, right? Okay, on the other hand, say for example name. So when you write name basically the string. So in the character, for safe side, I can take it 40 characters. No need any decimal value. We can say respondent name or name of the respondent. So no need to write something here. Okay, so I can write age. So in age, it's a numeric value. Wide basically 2, decimal, I don't, oh, sorry, 2, oh, the number is decimal placed too large for the fixed word. Okay, so decimal, I don't want to see in decimal, is of the respondee, age of the respondent. Okay, it's a level, right? So here we can see, right, it's a scale actually, right? Okay, age. Say for example, edu. So edu may be numeric, no decimal value, education of the respondent, right? Here we can fix the value. Say for example, 1, it means primary, just add. 2, it means secondary, right? Add. 3 means SSC, add. 4, it means HSC, add. 5, it means PSC, right? 6, it means MSc. 7 means MPhil. Okay, 8, it means PhD. Okay, 9 means other. Okay, so in this way, you can add the variable value. We can say it's a nominal, right? Because it's not ordinal. It's not ordinally arranged. Okay. In this way, actually, we can uh, fix the variable properties. So when you go to the data view, serial number, say for example 1, right? Maybe I didn't put here a decimal. Okay, we can make it a string, right? We can make it string, and 2. So in that case, we can write 0, 1, right? So name Nazmul, age 37, education. Education, say for example, I define here 8. Okay, so education, it means 8, right? So in this way, actually, we can enter the data using the SPSS. So right now you can say another Hassan. You can okay, you can create another case Hassan. Say for example 36. It's a 7. Say for example 3. Shupto 25, maybe 5. So in this way, you can enter the data. Just go to the PowerPoint slide. We learned how to define the name, how to define the variable type, variable weight, the decimal value, missing value, and measures. Okay. In this way, we can define our variable, and also we can enter the data directly in the SPSS. By the way, we talked about, we have 4 interface or overview. First one is data editor. We have already learned this is the data editor, this is the data view, and this is the variable view, data editor. Then the output editor. Say for example, if I go to the analysis, descriptive analysis, frequency, and age, see here, right? Statistics, mean. Okay, mean. Just tell. So this is actually the output view. Here you can get the result. On the other hand, you can produce chart also. Say for example, if you click here chart, say for example bar chart, continue. Okay, also you can produce a chart. Actually the frequency is 111, that is why no meaningful actually. So when you will have very large data, so it will be meaningful. So this is the output view. On the other hand, if I go here, frequency, say for example, we clicked, okay, but now we click paste. So you will get these options. So this is actually the syntax view. So using the syntax, you can calculate. Say for example, we write this syntax, just select, run, same output you will get here. And finally, the chart editor. So in chart editor, you can double click in here, right? And you will get another options. Here you can fix hide white, the variables name you can fix here. What types of chart actually you would like to see? Say for example, I can say pie chart. Right now it's a pie chart. So this is the chart editor. Okay. Once again, at the very end of the session, I'm just trying to recall what we learned today. So today, practically, we learned about the interface of the SPSS. So once again, we have 4 interface: data editor, output editor, syntax editor, and chart editor. On the other hand, the concept of, there are some basic concept. I mean the variable, data view, and variable view, and how we can define the variable name and variable properties, and how we can enter data manually. We have practiced in today's class. So in the next lecture, I will show you how to import data, how can we save or open the data, or many more options to learn SPSS better. So after the next lecture or video, Allah Hafiz.